In the heart of the African savannah, surrounded by vast fields and rolling hills, lay the humble village of Kumba. The villagers led simple lives, their days filled with farming, herding, and the occasional market trips to nearby towns. The people of Kumba were hardworking and resilient, but they often struggled to make ends meet. Despite their challenges, the villagers found joy in community gatherings, storytelling, and the laughter of children. One such child was Akio, a curious and adventurous boy with an insatiable appetite for exploration. Akio lived with his mother and younger sister in a modest hut at the edge of the village. His father had passed away when Akio was very young, leaving the family to rely on each other for support. Akio often daydreamed of finding a way to change their fortunes and ease his mother's burdens. The village elders often spoke of a legendary totem with the power to transform objects into gold. This totem, they said, was hidden deep in the forest, guarded by powerful magic. Many had tried to find it, but none had succeeded. The story of the golden totem fascinated Akio, and he dreamed of one day discovering it and using its power to help his family. One sunny afternoon, while exploring the outskirts of the village, Akio stumbled upon an old weathered map partially buried in the dirt. His heart raised with excitement as he carefully unrolled the map, revealing intricate drawings and symbols. At the center of the map was a depiction of a golden totem, surrounded by ancient script that Akio could not read. However, the map clearly showed a path leading into the dense forest. Determined to follow the map, Akio packed a small bag with provisions and set out early the next morning before the village had awakened. He trekked through the forest, following the map's guidance. The journey was arduous, with thick underbrush and tangled vines slowing his progress. But Akio's determination kept him moving forward. After hours of navigating the forest, Akio arrived at a hidden cave. The entrance was overgrown with ivy and almost invisible to the untrained eye. With a mixture of excitement and trepidation, Akio stepped inside. The cave was dimly lit by shafts of sunlight filtering through the cracks in the ceiling. As Akio ventured deeper, he felt a strange energy in the air, a pulsing warmth that seemed to guide him. Finally, in a small hidden chamber, Akio found it, the golden totem. It was a magnificent object, intricately carved and shimmering with an otherworldly light. Overcome with awe, Akio reached out and touched the totem. Instantly, he felt a surge of power course through his body. Eager to test the totem's power, Akio picked up a small rock from the cave floor and pressed it against the totem. To his amazement, the rock transformed into a lump of solid gold. His eyes widened in disbelief and excitement. With this totem, he could create enough gold to lift his family out of poverty and help the entire village. Returning to Kumba, Akio transformed several more objects into gold and brought them to his mother. She was astonished by the sudden wealth, and soon their modest hut was filled with golden objects. Word of Akio's newfound riches spread quickly through the village, and the once humble boy became a figure of admiration and envy. The villagers flocked to Akio, hoping to benefit from his magical gift. Akio, always generous, used the totem to help his neighbors, transforming simple items into gold and distributing the wealth. The village of Kumba was soon transformed, its people thriving in their newfound prosperity. However, with wealth came unintended consequences. The villagers, once united by their struggles, began to grow greedy and suspicious. Old friends turned against each other, and families were torn apart by jealousy and distrust. Akio, too, began to change. He became increasingly obsessed with gold, spending hours each day creating more and more wealth. He neglected his chores, his studies, and even his family. One evening, an elderly villager named Mosi visited Akio. Mosi was known for his wisdom and knowledge of ancient law. He had seen many things in his long life and had a deep understanding of the world beyond the physical. Akio, Mosi said, his voice gentle but firm, the totem you possess is powerful, but it is also dangerous. It was not meant to be used carelessly. There is a hidden cost to its magic, one that you do not yet understand. Akio, blinded by his obsession, dismissed Moses' warning. I have brought wealth to our village, he replied. How can that be dangerous? Moses sighed and shook his head. Gold can corrupt the heart and blind the mind. Be careful, Akio. There is more to this totem than you realize. As the days turned into weeks, Akio began to notice strange changes in himself. He felt weaker, more fatigued with each transformation. His once bright eyes grew dull, and his energy waned. Despite his increasing wealth, Akio felt a growing sense of dread. One night, as he lay in bed, a vision came to him. He saw a totem's guardian, a spectral figure shrouded in shadow. The guardian revealed the dark secret of the totem. Every time Akio transformed an object into gold, it drained a part of his life force. The totem's power was a curse disguised as a blessing, and it was slowly killing him. Panicked and desperate, Akio sought out Mosi. The old man listened to Akio's tale and nodded gravely. I feared this would happen, Mosi said. The totem's magic is ancient and powerful, but it comes with a heavy price. You must find a way to break the curse before it consumes you completely. Determined to undo the damage, Akio begged Mosi for help. The elder explained that breaking the curse would require a complex ritual involving rare ingredients scattered throughout the forest and beyond. Akio would need to gather these ingredients and perform the ritual in the cave where he had found the totem. With Moses' guidance, Akio set out on a perilous quest. He ventured deep into the forest, braving treacherous terrain and dangerous creatures. Each ingredient was more difficult to obtain than the last, and Akio's strength waned further with every passing day. But he pressed on, fueled by the hope of redemption. As Akio gathered the final ingredient, he encountered a series of trials that tested his character and resolve. He was forced to confront his greed and recognize the harm he had caused. These experiences humbled him and gave him a renewed sense of purpose. Weakened but resolute, Akio returned to the cave with the necessary ingredients. There, he was confronted by the Totem's guardian, who demanded that Akio prove his worthiness to break the curse. "You have been corrupted by greed," the guardian said. "Why should you be allowed to lift the curse?" Akio, now deeply remorseful, replied, "I was blinded by my desire for wealth, but I have seen the error of my ways. I seek to restore balance and make amends for the harm I have caused. Please allow me to perform the ritual." The guardian nodded, sensing the sincerity in Akio's heart. With Moses' guidance, Akio performed the ritual, carefully combining the ingredients and reciting the ancient incantations. As he did so, the cave filled with a brilliant light, and the totem began to tremble. The ritual required a final heart-wrenching sacrifice. Akio had to give up all the gold he had created. The totem's power could only be neutralized by returning the wealth it had bestowed. With a heavy heart, Akio agreed, watching as the golden objects he had created transformed back into their original forms. As the last of the gold vanished, Akio felt a surge of energy flood back into his body. The curse was lifted, and the totem's power was neutralized. Exhausted but relieved, Akio emerged from the cave to find Mosi waiting for him. "You have done well, Akio," Mosi said, his eyes filled with pride. "You have shown true courage and humility. The village will thrive, not because of gold, but because of lessons you have learned and the wisdom you will share." Akio returned to Kumba, where he was welcomed back with open arms. He mended his relationship with his family and friends, sharing the story of his journey and the dangers of greed. The villagers, inspired by Akio's transformation, came together to rebuild their community through hard work and unity. The village elder Mosi revealed the true purpose of the totem. It was a test of character, designed to teach those who found it the value of integrity and the dangers of greed. Akio's story became a legend in Kumba, passed down through generations as a reminder of the importance of humility and the true meaning of wealth. Akio grew into a wise and respected elder in the village, known for his generosity and wisdom. He ensured that the lessons he had learned were never forgotten, and under his guidance, Kumba prospered in harmony with the land. The golden totem, now powerless, remained in the cave as a symbol of the village's resilience and the enduring power of integrity. And so, the story of Akio and the golden totem continued to inspire future generations, teaching them that true wealth comes not from gold, but from the strength of character and the bonds of community.